Okay, so I got this lock here. I get a lot of these locks from people donating, and then I repin them and create a key for them because I get them without keys. And then I give them out to newbies for free. But I get a lot of questions online, the question is, if I don't have a key and I can't figure out this how to get into this lock, we give them advice how to pick it, but they just can't do it. We tell them to progressive pin it, but since they don't have the key, they have no way to remove the plug. So we tell them to shim it from behind, and I was going to demonstrate what we mean by that. So I already took this back bit off to save some time. And what you're trying to do is you're taking a shim and you're feeding it from the back. You can't do it from the front because there's a lip that prevents you getting access. Otherwise, it'd be very easy to pick a lock. And you're going to feed it from the back here. And what you're going to do is you're going to lift this last pin. You can lift it from the front like this, your standard way, or I find it easy just to go from the back here and lift this last pin. And you're going to lift it until you get to the shear line, so that the shim can go down the shear line between the driver pin and the key pin. So basically, you're instead of trying to pick all of them at once, you're just picking one pin at a time. And it's hard to show this on camera, but let's try. And I'll lift that up until I get to a point where that shim just dropped down. I don't know if you could see that. But now that last pin is picked, and then I just go to the next pin. Let's see if I can keep my fingers out of the way. And there, now that shim went down some more, go to the next pin. And you keep going until you're confident that you can pick the last few pins that are remaining. So I got 3 pins now, and you could go all the way with the shim like this if you want. It gets a little bit more difficult as you get further. There's a 4th pin, and we'll get the 5th pin hopefully. Because the tighter the tolerance of the plug to the core, the harder it's going to be to push the shim as you get further and further down. So I think I got 4 pins. I could try to go from the front, and I'll put my ring finger, I'll push the shim like that to try to put some pressure, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do more pins. So there's pin number 1 and pin number, I think we're on pin number 2 maybe. Hard to tell. So what you can do is you can pull this up a little in case you're just pushing pressure on it, and then push it back down again. That'll let the key pin that you're currently picking drop. And there's like sand or something falling out of this one. I don't know where I got this one, but this is a lock I don't have a key for, so I will create a key for it and give it away with somebody who needs it. All right, there we go. We got another one. That might have been the last one actually. Let's see. And you can tell if a pin is picked or not because when you push on it, one that's not picked will have travel, but the ones that are picked, the shim is going to be blocking you from lifting the key pin. Yeah, so I feel no spring from that front one, so it must be the front one. And so if all of them are picked, you should be able to push the plug out just like that. There you go. I would advise using a follower at this point. And you can push it all the way out. There we go. So we have a 5-pin lock. And those are the key pins. And now you can go and remove, 3 of them. Actually, I'll show it real quick. So people talk about progressive pinning, and what they mean is instead of having to pick all 5 pins, you reduce the number of pins you pick. So let's go ahead and just we'll remove 3 pins. So now this is like a 2-pin lock, but you also, don't forget this part, remove the corresponding driver pins and their springs. Because if you don't, you're going to have even harder time picking this, as the springs block the plug from turning, and those will be hard to pick. So you don't want to forget to remove the drivers and the springs from this. So let's see if we can do this without using the front 3, or the front 2 rather. And so there's our springs. We got our 2 pins still in there. So we'll go ahead and we'll feed this from the front back in. Now you're going to want to feed this at an angle, because if you feed it straight in, that first driver pin is going to drop into that last hole there. I would even recommend, you don't have to do this, but if you're new, go ahead and put a shim down there just for extra protection. And then when you put that in, remove that shim, turn the lock so it locks, and now you have a 2-pin lock. Go ahead and put your retaining clip back on. It'll pick a bit different if you don't have the retaining clip on, and if you participate in the Lock Pickers United belt system, Yep, if you don't have the retaining clip, the picking video will actually be disqualified. So you want to make sure to put this piece back on. Also, I mean, not having this thing, I've seen people not have this clip on, they pick it, or they use the key, and they go to do something, and then all the bits fall out and you have a big old mess. So put that clip on. So now I have a 2-pin lock. I can go ahead and find a tensioner that fits, and we can go ahead and pick a 2-pin lock. Going in here, I'm not a very good in-hand picker, that's for sure. And what do I feel? I feel nothing because I'm not good in-hand. I haven't picked in a very long time, and what I did was I picked a few locks in hand last week, but I will not try that here because this will take too long. And they weren't locks like this, they were padlocks, so they're a little bit easier to hold. Do this, get some focus. This is all just superfluous, right? I've already covered what I want to cover, but we'll go ahead and show that this is a 2-pin lock now. So we'll go in, and that first one feels like it's binding. Actually it doesn't, it was just stuck. There's the second pin. There's a click from the second, go to the first. And that was a high set, and we're open. And then you go and you gut it and do your normal thing. So hopefully that'll help some people that want to know about what it means to shim it from the back, and progressive pinning as well, all in one. Thanks everyone, take care, bye.